takes it out, and it's Crumbs who goes down, the initiator, as NRG sees that and assesses it very well.
I agree with NRG's calling in this play because they recognized Renegades was split. Somehow, Alex Each found himself in the bottom lane. So immediately, NRG pushed the mid lane as hard as they could. They actually did not get the turret, but they got at least half of the health down for it. And then Crumbs initiated again because he saw the juicy 3-man knockup, but it was before Alex Each had arrived. And then we saw an example of the tank shredding potential from NRG.
Control, that's a binding they need to be able to work off of, but it was too much distance. Nobody could close it. Moon repels over the wall, thinking NRG had the upper hand there. Splits the upright, Remy misses a binding there, going for the flash and ignite forward. And now it's Impact versus Alex Each here in the bot lane. Impact getting crushed down. Alex standing still, and Impact not able to get around to get any more battles, but he finally does! Challenge accepted, and Impact comes out on top.
Whoa, so first off, good binding from Remy that's followed up by the team, and then Impact just outduels Alex. Alex's passive ran out, so he lost his spell cooldown reduction, and it allowed Impact to clean up the vitals. Here we go.
A no vision flash. RF legendary going crazy for a moment. The team actually following RF step back. Not really miscommunication. Looks like they're just trying to stop backs, deter, get vision, and use this pressure time that they have wisely. Put a back and forth, but we've only gained a few kills on each side. Now 5-5. Very even games as we come into this first week of the LCS.
Yeah, and Impact was the force to be reckoned with that he thought he would be. Alex had been farming the whole game.
Crazy fight.
Just picked up a QSS. He's going to try and prevent that from happening again. See, this will be the duel. So, see, Alex had his passive very early, and this, also the CC got blocked initially, which made it harder to chain, but here, Alex can no longer cast spells because his passive expired, so he doesn't get the cooldown reduction when he lands his spells, allows Impact to chase down. Basically, because Impact didn't get full bursted during the duration of Alex's combo, he could then turn it around and finish him off with the sustained damage of the aura.
Man, Impact's got to be feeling pretty good for himself here. Coming back in his debut for 2016. 3-1-1, really controlling the top lane for his team. Moon hasn't even had to give too much attention. Towards bottom lane on the minimap. Dragon's gonna be left alone. The fight happens, and it looks like Moon kind of repels out to Alex to make sure he can get away. NRG is setting up towards the mid, trying to deny vision towards that brush. Legendary too far in. He gets picked out, and Renegades just starts falling one by one as NRG continued to dance themselves back and back until they could take the fight.
That was an example of how well this NRG team can kite thanks to the supportive, high cooldown, maxed Pillar of Ice from Trundle. That pillar is on an 8-second cooldown, and despite Impact's TP coming in so far away and then running for about 15 seconds before he joined, they still win the fight. It's because they could disengage it for so long. And oh, Altec, he stuck around! Oh, clever Altec. Riv. That was so mean.
And they're getting buried at the same time.
That was so mean and so clever right there because Crumbs himself was trying to outsmart NRG, but he got completely outgamed here. We're going to talk about the fight first. Here, it's basically Remy can never get in for a good ultimate and no bindings land clean. They're all running away very well, but look, the pillar's just sitting right there. So the entire Renegades team is slowed. Finally, Impact arrives. By that point, Renegades has already burned cooldowns trying to get through the Trundle pillar. Alex doesn't have cleanse, can only use the QSS, so he can't keep himself safe forever. They chase him down.
And Crumbs going in here, they have Concom, but he's pretty big, especially with that ultimate. And like you said, with that Callista not being on the side of Renegades, they're using it for defensive purposes on the side of NRG.
Callista Trundle just so difficult to initiate onto. Even if you do manage to reach Trundle, who's going to be blocking skill shots for anyone else while he's stolen resistances from your tank, you can just pull him back. 5-man group in the mid lane, trying to get some work done.
Back and forth. There's still a decent amount of crowd control to lock somebody under that inhibitor turret, and that's exactly what NRG doesn't want, but they're filing in and out quite nicely. And with that pressure onto the Nexus turret, no, they're gonna actually go for a fight here. That's Impact going in on Alex Each. Very, very hard. They push him off the turret. They don't even want the turret. They just want kills right now. They said, we have an open inhibitor. Nexus turrets are already going down. Nothing needs to be done in the mid lane. It needs to be done inside the base, and work is being done. That's the fight. That's good night. possibly 35 minutes in, 13-5. Alex East is trying to bait them out of the base. Crumbs goes right into the middle of the frying pan and gets cooked up. Alex is the next one sauteed and put down. And now Remy trying to do what she can to deter the sight of NRG from the Nexus, but it does not work. NRG is going to go 2-0 in the first week of the spring split.
35.